They were once denied access to their own stage. Security thought they were roadies. Shorts, a school uniform. But those same guys would go on to create Back in Black, the biggest rock album of all time. So how did a band that didn't even look like rock stars end up defining rock and roll? Stay with me, because this story gets darker before it gets louder. You already know AC/DC, you just don't realize how often you've heard them. Highway to Hell, You Shook Me All Night Long, Thunderstruck, they're everywhere. But the band behind those songs, they weren't polished, they weren't trendy, they weren't even supposed to survive the 70s. And it all starts with two brothers who weren't even Australian. Angus and Malcolm Young were born in Glasgow, Scotland. Their family emigrated to Australia when Angus was just 8 years old, the entire trip costing £10. No safety net, no connections. Angus first tasted music when his sister took him to see Louis Armstrong. And then there was their older brother, George Young, successful, famous, respected. Angus once said,
"One day George was a 16-year-old sitting on his bed playing guitar. The next day he was worshipped by the whole country."
That moment flipped a switch. Therefore, in 1973, Malcolm and Angus started a band. They called it AC/DC, a name their sister, Margaret, spotted on the back of a sewing machine. Power, electricity, no off switch. But the band? Still a mess. Early AC/DC had revolving doors for members. Dave Evans sang, Colin Burgess drummed, Larry Van Crete played bass. It worked, but not enough. Malcolm was ruthless, constantly searching for the lineup. Then one man walked in and changed everything. Bon Scott. Born Ronald Belford Scott, rock star. Instantly, Bon had swagger, humor, danger, and an insane amount of confidence. He didn't try to impress you, he dared you not to like him. To Angus, he was guidance, he was protection. Angus later said,
Bon was like a father to us all.
And with Bon in front, AC/DC exploded. By the late 70s, AC/DC were unstoppable. Raw albums, relentless touring. Then came Highway to Hell, produced by Mutt Lange. The album launched them worldwide. Everything was finally lining up. But then, February 19, 1980, Bon Scott was dead. Alcohol poisoning. No drugs found in his system, despite rumors that still circulate today. The band was destroyed. Fans assumed AC/DC was over. And honestly, so did the band. AC/DC didn't know what to do. They'd lost their voice, their friend, their soul. They needed a singer. Not a replacement for Bon, but someone who could survive the comparison. That singer was Brian Johnson, former frontman of Geordie. Working class, no ego, monster voice. Malcolm made the call, and together, AC/DC recorded an album that shouldn't have worked. Back in Black, the comeback nobody expected. Back in Black, a tribute album, a resurrection. It went nuclear. Over 50 million copies sold. One of the best-selling albums in history. Bigger than Highway to Hell. Songs like You Shook Me All Night Long became immortal. Someone once accused AC/DC of repetition. Angus replied,
A writer once accused us of making the same album 11 times. In fact, we've made 12 albums that sound exactly the same.
And somehow, that honesty worked. Behind the chaos was Malcolm Young, rhythm guitarist, leader, perfectionist. He controlled the engine. Drummers came and went. Phil Rudd, the backbone, Simon Wright, Chris Slade. Bass players changed until Cliff Williams locked it down in 1977. When Malcolm Young fell ill, he was diagnosed with dementia, forcing him to step away from AC/DC in 2014. His death in 2017 left a permanent hole in the band, and his nephew, Stevie Young, stepped in to carry the rhythm exactly as Malcolm had taught him. Then came Thunderstruck. Instant recognition, one intro note, and everyone knows. Different era, same DNA. AC/DC never changed the formula. They didn't follow trends, they didn't apologize. But that stubborn belief in rock and roll is exactly why they survived. And remember the beginning? The band denied access to their own stage because they didn't look like rock stars? Turns out, they were the ones that defined rock and roll. By the way, all of this is researched, written, and edited by me. Subscribe if you want more stuff like this. Likes and comments help more than you think. If you've enjoyed the video and want to support the channel, I've got Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee linked in the description. I'll catch you in the next one.